Have you ever noticed how two people, even in business, can be looking at the exact same thing but see something totally different?
Oh, absolutely.
Like two leaders facing a big market shift.
Yeah.
One gets excited by the chance to innovate while the other just freaks out and starts cutting back.
Same information, totally different reaction.
Exactly. It's all about perception, right?
Yeah, it really
How
hits.
we see things, the world, our work, especially our businesses.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, just for you.
What I find really interesting is that it's not just about passively taking in information.
Right.
It's about the lens we use, how we view our business. It shapes every decision, strategy, even the identity of our brand.
Absolutely. It's like we each have our own filter, our own perceptual center.
Exactly.
And it's not just some small preference.
No.
It really changes what we focus on, what we prioritize.
Yeah.
It's the core mindset of a business, it's narrative.
And this directly impacts the day-to-day of running a business. It has real consequences.
Totally.
It affects everything, from your brand story to the customer experience.
So today we're going to break down 5 key perceptual centers.
Yeah.
We're going to see what happens when business is seen as a passion project, a finely tuned system, a discipline, a project, and a subject to study.
Oh, wow.
It's ambitious. But we believe that by understanding these different perspectives, you'll walk away with a whole new framework for approaching your own business and your professional journey.
Because here's a question for you. What's your dominant lens?
Ooh.
How do you see your business? We're not always aware of it, but once we are, it can lead to some powerful insights.
This deep dive is based on some insightful research, so let's jump into the first perspective. Business as a passion project. What's the core of this viewpoint?
It's all about personal meaning, deep emotional connection, and it's fueled by that.
Oh.
Authenticity is key. The founder's story, their values, they're woven into every aspect of the business. Decisions often come from the gut, guided by passion, and offerings are very personal, like handcrafted goods or curated experiences.
Interesting.
What's interesting is that this approach creates incredibly loyal customers.
Yeah.
But our sources also point out a potential struggle.
Uh-huh.
Scalability and consistency can be tough if that personal touch of the founder can't be replicated as the business grows.
That's a great point. How does a passion-driven business navigate that transition?
It's a big question. So what are the telltale signs? What are the traits of a business operating through this passion lens?
Okay, great question.
You'll always see authenticity front and center in their message, in what they offer. There's this effort to build a real emotional connection with the customer. And personal storytelling is at the heart of their branding and marketing. Building a community is huge for them, and quality over quantity is the motto.
Okay, that makes sense.
It does.
Let's bring this to life a bit. Picture a coffee shop seen through this lens.
Ooh, I like it.
How would that passion play out?
Okay, picture this. A small, independent coffee shop owned by, let's say, Anya. She's got this lifelong love for coffee, something passed down from her grandmother, who had these traditional brewing methods.
Okay.
The entire brand, it's soaked in this personal history. Each blend might be named after a family member or a key moment in Anya's coffee journey.
That's not just a menu, it's a whole story.
And that's exactly what it is. Operationally, you might see Anya experimenting with small batch roasts or unique brewing techniques driven by her fascination with coffee. Her menu, it's constantly changing, reflecting her discoveries and creativity.
Wow. How would her passion impact the customer experience?
Customer service becomes super personal.
Right.
Anya and her baristas, they would build real relationships with their regulars, remembering their usual and even little details about their lives. It's less about the transaction and more about connecting with someone who's passionate about their craft and wants to share it.
It sounds very warm and inviting.
And it would be, fostering a strong sense of local community.
Okay, now for marketing. How would Anya get the word out about her passion project coffee shop?
She'd keep it grassroots, community-focused.
Okay, I see.
Think local events, maybe workshops on brewing led by Anya herself, or evenings where she shares her family's coffee stories. Social media would be very personal, a behind-the-scenes look at her passion, connecting with followers on a real level.
Building those local ties.
Exactly.
And what about finances? Would profit be everything to Anya?
For Anya, it's more about sustainable growth, keeping the quality high, and always improving the experience for her customers. Profits. Probably reinvested back into better beans or unique offerings, not about expanding super fast at the cost of her values. The impact. Anya's coffee shop becomes a haven for creativity, connection, a love for coffee, and the loyalty it creates is rooted in that emotional connection.
Wow, that's a powerful image. Let's shift to a different industry. Imagine a bookstore called, say, Sarah's Stories.
Sarah's Stories, I love that.
If it was viewed as a passion project, how would it work?
Imagine Sarah's Stories as a reflection of Sarah's love for reading, wanting to share that joy with others. The atmosphere itself is authentic, inviting, maybe with comfy armchairs in quiet corners and handwritten notes on the shelves recommending books.
So the brand is an extension of Sarah's personal passion.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the experience would be all about her personal touch. She'd likely remember what her customers like to read, give recommendations based on her own reading, really understand their taste, book clubs and author events.
Yeah.
It'd feel more like gatherings of friends who love books, building that sense of community around Sarah's passion for literature.
Got it.
The impact. Loyal customers, people who appreciate not just the books, but the care, the knowledge, and the pure love for stories that Sarah's Stories embodies.
All right, let's move on from that very heart-centered approach to a more process-driven one.
Right.
Our second lens, business as a system. What's the main idea here?
Seeing a business as a system is about recognizing the interconnectedness of its parts, all designed for efficiency, optimization, and sustainability in the long run.
Okay.
It's about establishing well-defined processes that can be repeated and having feedback loops for constant improvement. Data is king here, driving decisions, and the focus is on consistency, scalability, and predictable results.
So if the passion project is like a home-cooked meal, then business as a system is like a restaurant kitchen working like a well-oiled machine.
Yes, great analogy.
What are the key signs of a business as a system in action?
Efficiency is everything. They're built to scale and handle growth. You'll see strategic automation and a reliance on data to guide decisions. Reliability and consistency are paramount.
Okay, that's clear. Let's go back to our coffee shop.
Back to the coffee shop.
If the owner had this system's mindset, how would things look?
This Anya, maybe with an engineering background now, would be mapping out every single process in the shop. From ordering beans to brewing to handling customers, she'd have automated systems for inventory, digital ordering, even smart scheduling software based on predicted customer traffic. The goal: no bottlenecks, minimal waste, consistent quality, no matter who's working.
What about the customer experience? How would this system affect that?
Think CRM, customer relationship management.
Okay.
Anya would track customer preferences, gather feedback, and ensure service is efficient and personalized, all based on data. Even if the staff changes, the experience remains consistent. The focus shifts to data-driven understanding and meeting customer needs.
So less about the personal touch and more about reliable, data-driven service.
Yes, the brand of a systems-focused coffee shop would be known for its efficiency, consistent quality, and smooth, reliable operations. They're always finding ways to get better, to scale, while keeping the quality high.
What about Sarah's Stories, our bookstore, now viewed as a system?
Sarah, this time with an operations management background, would have optimized every process for maximum efficiency. Technology is central. Imagine advanced inventory systems to keep books in stock, data analytics to track sales and suggest recommendations, and automated reordering to avoid running out.
So less browsing and stumbling upon hidden gems, and more about easily finding what you need based on data.
Yes.
Yeah.
The brand becomes known for its consistently available titles and reliability. Customers who value convenience and a predictable experience, they love it. The experience is seamless and efficient, from the online catalog to checkout. The impact. Sarah's Stories is the bookstore that's always reliable, with data-driven stock and a smooth customer experience every time.
You mentioned some other examples of how businesses operate as systems. Can you tell us more about those?
Sure. Think of a logistics company, like a delivery service, functioning as a system.
Okay.
They're all about precision and reliability. Imagine perfectly timed pickups and deliveries, executed with almost military precision. They have standardized procedures that every employee follows religiously.
Wow.
Strong internal accountability is part of their culture. Training focuses heavily on adhering to these procedures and expectations for conduct. What does this lead to?
What does it lead to?
They build extraordinary trust in their region, high contract renewals, and their brand is built on this unwavering dependability, all thanks to their system.
Makes perfect sense for an industry where timing and reliability are everything.
Right.
What about a technology platform?
A tech platform operating as a system. Their priority: seamless, frictionless user experience above all else.
How do they achieve that?
They need an intuitive interface that's easy to use, a quick onboarding process for new users, super responsive customer support.
Got it.
They might use things like AI chatbots for that. They need instant transaction confirmations and smart push notifications that are personalized and relevant, never annoying or generic. The whole brand experience, whether on the app, website, or customer service interaction, needs to be consistent. This creates user reliance on the platform, a trust based on consistent performance and dependability rather than personal touch.
It's really eye-opening how different foundational perspectives shape such different business realities.
Isn't it?
Let's move on to our third center. Business as a mental and emotional discipline. This sounds like it digs into the personal strength it takes to run a business.
Exactly. It's all about self-mastery, setting high standards, and living by strong principles and rituals.
Right.
The founder often sees their business as a test of character.
That's interesting.
They put a premium on structure, order, consistency, and really high standards. Accountability is key. And you can feel their core values woven into every part of the business.
So it's about building not just a business, but also building character through the process.
Precisely. And integrity. It's not just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential.
Can you give us an example? Maybe our tea shop, but this time run by Jordan, a retired military officer.
I love that. So Jordan's Tea Shop. The brand itself would radiate order and discipline. Imagine crisp, clean uniforms for the staff, perfectly aligned signage with a tagline that emphasizes excellence. There's a sense of tradition, honor, maybe even a hint of legacy.
So the visual and verbal branding is deliberate, reflecting those values.
Exactly. Operationally, you'd see strict opening and closing routines, incredibly thorough staff training.
Okay.
Not just about making tea, but also about conduct, etiquette, precise communication. Every task has a clear procedure, regular team meetings reinforce standards, and mistakes are seen as learning opportunities. The aim,
What's the aim?
to instill pride, precision, and a commitment to excellence in every single team member.
Okay. And what about marketing and finances? How would those be handled with this discipline-focused lens?
Marketing would be consistent, strong, and very deliberate, directly reflecting the tea shop's values and approach. No trendy gimmicks here. The focus is on communicating what the shop stands for and delivering on that promise consistently. Finances are managed with that same rigor in planning, detailed records, careful budgeting, and a long-term focus on stability. The result: a well-organized, efficient, and super reliable operation known for its structured approach, its consistent quality, and the trust it builds with its customers.
It sounds like the kind of place where customers really believe in the quality and reliability of everything offered.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to our fourth center, business as a project. This sounds very results-oriented.
It is.
Tell me more.
Viewing business as a project is about having a structured, goal-oriented mindset.
Okay.
It's about meticulous planning, clear objectives, structured execution, and a focus on milestones and timelines.
Okay.
They really prioritize using resources efficiently, time, budget, people to reach specific goals. And there's this constant drive for improvement.
So it's like running the business according to a project management plan all the time.
Exactly.
What are the key characteristics?
Comprehensive upfront planning with detailed roadmaps, clear milestones with timelines to track progress, efficient allocation and management of resources, a laser focus on goals for every task, and feedback mechanisms for continuous improvement. It's all about getting things done.
So back to our coffee shop. How would it function if viewed as a project?
Imagine an owner with a project management background.
Okay.
They would break down everything, like launching a seasonal menu or a customer loyalty program, into distinct projects.
Okay.
Each project would have clear goals, timelines, resources, and metrics for success. Even daily operations might be structured like project tasks with deadlines and responsibilities.
What about customer service?
Even customer service would be seen through this project lens. Staff training protocols, guidelines for customer interactions, systems for feedback. It would all be treated as projects with detailed plans, timelines, and measurable outcomes. It's all about planning, setting goals, and executing in a structured way to achieve those goals. The result: every single part of the coffee shop is carefully managed and working towards the big picture goals of the business.
And what about Sarah's stories as a project?
In this scenario, everything from the store layout to the point-of-sale system to author events is treated as a project, each with detailed plans, timelines, and resources.
Right.
The manager, acting like a project manager, would meticulously track progress, ensuring new books are processed on schedule, events are planned on time and within budget, and resources are used wisely. Their brand, known for its reliability, organization, and professionally run events. It attracts customers who value a smooth, structured experience. You'd see things like events starting on time, advertised books always in stock, and a well-maintained, organized environment.
Okay, we've arrived at our final perspective. This one sounds very analytical, focused on continuous learning. Business as a study. What's the core concept here?
Seeing business as a study is all about treating it like a subject that needs constant analysis, research, and data-driven decisions. The focus is on experimentation. Test hypotheses, try different approaches, gather data, analyze it, learn from it, and refine strategies based on evidence.
So, less reliance on gut feelings and more about data-backed insights.
Precisely. It's a mindset that thrives on research, data to inform almost every decision, and a willingness to try new things.
Okay.
There's a constant drive for improvement based on the results of those experiments and rigorous data analysis.
I like it. Let's picture our tea shop again, but this time run by Leela, a retired mathematician who sees business as a study. How would she approach things?
Leela's tea shop would be her living laboratory. She'd track everything. Which blends sell best at different times, how music affects how long customers stay and how much they spend, even which packaging gets the most attention on social media.
It's extremely data-driven.
It is. Her brand would feel thoughtful, well-researched, almost like a living thesis on tea.
Interesting.
She'd use tea tastings as experiments to gather data on flavor preferences and brewing methods. She'd have customer surveys, meticulously analyze sales, and even research the health benefits and chemical properties of different teas to guide her product development.
How would this analytical approach affect operations, customer service, and marketing?
Operations would be super optimized based on the data she gathers. Customer service might have carefully designed workflows, maybe even scripts for greetings or protocols for different inquiries, with regular reviews to find areas for improvement based on the data. Her team would have clear roles and responsibilities, and performance would be assessed using data-driven metrics.
Wow.
Product development would be this constant cycle of research, testing, data analysis, refining, and rolling out new products based on what the data says. Marketing.
What about marketing?
A series of planned campaigns, each with specific, measurable goals, tracked engagement, and ongoing analysis to get better each time. Even financial management would involve detailed reports, data-driven reflections, and quarterly adjustments to the financial strategy based on the latest findings. It's like a mini board meeting based entirely on data. The impact. A highly optimized, incredibly data-informed business where decisions are based on evidence, not intuition.
That's a fantastic overview of 5 very different ways to see and run a business. Just to recap, we explored business as a passion project driven by intrinsic motivation, a system focused on efficiency and reliability, a discipline emphasizing structure and high standards, a project focused on achieving specific goals, and a study driven by data and continuous learning.
It's crucial for you, the listener, to understand that the lens you choose, consciously or unconsciously, has a huge impact.
Yes.
Not just on your brand and how you operate, but on your customer's entire experience.
Oh, absolutely.
And ultimately on the potential and direction of your business.
As you reflect on your business or career, which of these resonates with you most?
Yeah.
And more importantly, where are the opportunities to try out a different lens? Maybe even just for a little bit to gain new insights and fuel your growth.
And here's something to think about long after we're done. What if you experimented with shifting your primary business lens for a set time?
Interesting.
Just as a thought experiment.
Yeah.
What new insights or opportunities might you discover by seeing your business from a totally new angle?
Wow.
It's a powerful way to challenge what you think you know and explore the many sides of the work we do.
Absolutely.
That's business.
That's business.